Today is Wednesday, December 11th, 2024, and I know I missed a video yesterday. Honestly, I fell asleep. I was so tired from work and I had a whole bunch of stuff to do, but I did have the video recorded, so I'm going to play that after this one. I was thinking about just scrapping it all together and trying to fit everything into this one, but I actually did have a lot of info in that previous recording, so I'm just going to tag that on later in the end. So please stick around for that. There's going to be tons more information in that one. And it was also a pretty bad red day. Today is just a whatever day, up 2%. But yeah, so stick around for that. But today I am up almost 2% on a day where the NASDAQ is also up almost 1.8%. But if we look at the week, NASDAQ is up almost 2%. Versus my account, I'm actually down 1.6. Just out of curiosity, I'm going to look at the month. 15. Okay, so I'm still outperforming for the month. That's good. But this week, I don't know. It just kind of bothers me. Anytime I'm underperforming in any time period, it just makes me uncomfortable. I guess I'm just like that. But whatever. So today, we had pretty much a bounce back from yesterday. Yesterday being a very bad red day for me, and you guys will see just in a moment why exactly it was so bad for me. But yeah, so today was a bounce back day. Pepsi getting sold off a little bit while the rest of the portfolio is a little bit more risk on, with Tesla going up, of course, hitting an insane price. Man, 424. I remember that earnings trade I had where I sold it at 328 or 330, I want to say. Yeah, that was a mistake. And similar story for Google, actually. Google, it was also an earnings trade, and I knew exactly what I was doing, so I'm not too mad at myself. I'm only mad because I just wish I had more. I mean, that's basically my story with any stock. I just wish I had more capital in everything. But yeah, so Google also had a tremendous day. If I can find it, I only have one share, unfortunately. And it was that earnings trade a few videos back, if anybody actually watched that one. And man, I really wish I had more Google, but it's unfortunate. I'm just going to let my portfolio kind of play out from here however it wants to, and of course see what's going up. But I am kind of rooting for Nike to go up even more from here. I'm also kind of rooting for Pepsi to go up even more from here. And the reason why I say that is because I've been thinking about adding a little bit more to Nike, just because when it hits my price targets, I kind of want to layer it out. So when it hits 85, maybe I'll sell a covered call, depending on the prices, of course. Everything is situational. But I might start selling covered calls at higher prices, and then my next price target after that is 100 and 120. So I want to have a decently sized Nike position to where I can start layering out my sells or covered calls, whatever it is that I decide to do when those price targets are hit. So I might add a little bit more to Nike. I'm not sure though. We'll have to see. And the reason why I say I want it to kind of go up a little bit more in the short term is because I do have a decent amount of margin. So those covered calls or me just selling shares in general is going to help kind of pay for that and pay that down. So that's the only reason why I say it. But if it ends up taking its time, it's not a big deal. I can always just go ahead and pay off the interest. And if we take a look at my upcoming dividends, such a tragic picture. I have a decent amount of Pepsi, decent amount of Nike, but the EA, the VFC, and the Google, of course, I just wish I had so much more into those, but it is what it is. I'm just going to have to do my best to earn more, deposit more, invest more, make better decisions, of course. But yeah, don't forget, guys, manage your own risk. Don't take any of this as a buy and sell recommendation. And now on to yesterday. Today is December 10th, 2024, and it's been pretty rough to start off this week. I kind of wish I hedged a bit differently and much more aggressively. I don't know if I was being complacent, because I knew I needed to hedge, but I guess I wanted to ease into it. That easing into it was taking a bit too long. And it is what it is. The market going down, it's going down because it catches a lot of people off guard. It's going down because people are selling at the end of the day. And it is what it is. I am down about 10 grand or like a little bit more than 10 grand from my high. It was like 131 or something like that. So, but I will say this, being down 10 grand back when my portfolio was like 60K feels much, much different, right? Being down 10 grand when you had 130 does not feel as bad as having only 50K and being down 10 grand. Like, that is a much worse feeling. And some of the ways that I decided to hedge have not been playing out too well. So the SPY hedge, even though it was tiny, if it was much larger, I would still not be in the profit. Same for Palantir, even though Palantir is down pretty bad today. It's barely break even, slightly down. However, there was a Robinhood put option that I had on my watch list. It says I added it on the 5th, so around 5 days ago, and it is currently up 47%. So that would have been a much better way to hedge. And I just think it's funny how the one time that I decide to hedge with covered calls or selling calls, whatever, is the time that would have been better for me to just buy straight up put options. But like I said, it is what it is. My price target on Nike in the short term is around 85, but the $100 and 120 price targets more long term still stand for me personally. But short term, I do think we could see 85. Maybe it's on earnings. I have a feeling that this round earnings will be a bit better, because similar to how SoFi, every earnings, it would just completely fall apart. The stock price wise, like not the fundamentals, but the stock price would completely drop after the earnings, and it was a quote-unquote easy trade for a lot of the people that were shorting it. I have a feeling that Nike was also in that similar situation, where every time they reported earnings, even though, like, yes, revenues were down, but EPS was actually growing, the market would still sell down Nike stock every single earnings. It would just go down, down, and down, and down. But perhaps this is the one where they start turning things around. Now, there's no guarantees, of course, but I'm just saying my short-term price target is still 85, and it is currently at 76 right now. Robinhood, I still have my price target at 50, even though it's in the 30s right now. Palantir, of course, I don't have really a price target for it, because that stock is just so hard to... It's just so hard to predict. Like, that stock will do whatever it wants. Kind of similar to Tesla. Maybe not so much now, but there definitely was a time where Tesla, you just couldn't predict it. Like, you just leave it alone, let it do its thing. And I think that's kind of what is happening with Palantir. So I did sell a call. I think it was a 90 strike. And as long as it doesn't hit 90, that's fine with me. It could hit 100. It could hit 60. Palantir can do whatever it wants. And Pepsi, of course, is hanging in there. Tesla was doing very well today. I believe it's $400 today. Yep. So a lot of people have their price targets set to 420 for obvious reasons, or 420.69. But I mean, I don't really, like I said, I don't have a price target for Tesla. I had a feeling that it was going to go up, and I was trading it for a good minute, but it is what it is. I'm just holding Tesla for the long term because I like the things that they're doing. TLT, of course, barely does anything, like always. Honest, down 5%. Let me see Honest. So I am interested in buying more Honest, but like I said, I'm just so stretched on stocks right now. Like, there's just so many stocks to buy, not enough cash, but I guess that's a good problem to have, or maybe it's a bad problem. I don't know. It's one or the other. It means that I'm finding a lot of stocks I like, but it also means that I need more capital. I don't know. So it could be good or bad. But yeah, that's kind of where I am right now. Honest, my price target is still around $10. Robinhood still $50. Nike still 85 in the short term, but more longer term is still 100. Palantir, like I said, that stock could go to 100 or it could go to 50. Like, I just don't know. I'm gonna let Palantir do its thing. Pepsi, of course, I could easily see it hitting 170, 175 in the short term. Tesla, I'm gonna let it do its thing. And PayPal, of course, I could easily see it getting back into the hundreds. And of course, my SoFi price target was around 20, but I'm not going to take any profits. These are just price targets that I have for myself, like keeping a mental note. This does not mean I'm going to buy, sell. This doesn't mean you should buy and sell. This is just me, like, keeping a mental note.